Hey there, welcome to Supercharged Fridays. Welcome back to the monsoon edition. I'm in India. I hope you're doing well. I am going through a little bit of a hectic day. I have been moving around between houses, and now I have my phone without a tripod, so it's just me. So I apologize for like it moving around and hanging. I obviously didn't want to miss Supercharged Fridays. If you're watching, come in and say hello. I'm live every Friday for 2.5 years. Come rain or shine, hell or high water. Literally, we are together every single Friday. So I'm going to be live for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, no more than that. Got a big family gathering today, but I wanted to say, in case you have a question, in case you'd like my help, come in. Like I said, I apologize. I don't have my tripods. I'm a little bit shaky here, but how does it matter? What matters is our interaction together. I don't see comments, but I want to talk about one particular thing that has come up quite a bit recently, and people are talking about toxic bosses, and they're talking about they've all. I think the topic has always been there, and the topic was more about like what do you do, how do you deal with the situation, right? So it's a bit more remedial. Like what do you do when you have a bad boss? I think there's a lot of advice out there. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Thank you for giving me some company today. Yogesh, Risto, amazing. Leon, Brenda, you guys are cool. So feel free to share your thoughts. Like I said, I don't want to be live for too long, but I want to talk about bosses. Because um, as much as we want to talk about career empowerment and taking things in your own hands, a good boss or a bad boss has a huge impact on our career as well. I mean, there's no denying that. So I would like a little bit also for the narrative to change and talk more about how do you choose a good boss versus what do you do when you have a bad boss and how do you fix the situation, because that's more reactive, right? And the proactive side, we don't think we have the power to do that because it sounds silly, it sounds lovely on paper, but we need the job, Sonal. What are you talking about? How do I choose a good boss? I want to just highlight an article I wrote a couple of years ago. It's as true today, if not before. I remember back then there was a Gallup study on why people leave organizations. It's lack of fulfillment, and guess what? It's not a trend. McKinsey came up with a survey as well recently. Thousands of people have replied, and the number one reason is lack of growth. I don't see these big things changing. It's not usually money related. It's money, or it's like my, um, flexible work situation. It's more than that, right? And so when it comes to things like growth, I think having a boss who believes in your personal and professional development makes a huge difference. So how do you choose a good or bad boss? I want to talk a little bit about that for a few minutes. But in the meantime, if you guys have questions and you're joining me and you're watching me live, let's do this. Windy, rainy, cloudy here. It's windy, rainy, and cloudy as well. And it's been raining, raining, raining. So I appreciate you guys being there. Hey, Krishna, I just got appraised. You got a performance appraisal done, but I'm not happy with the numbers. No, I understand, Sorry, not Krishna, Kisha. I totally get that, Kisha. I think the timing is everything, right? So feel free. The sooner, the better. Don't wait too long. Have a conversation with your boss. Put it in the calendar, his or her calendar, and say, like to have a conversation with you. Based on just some things that I was expecting, it just felt a little bit disappointed, and approach it with a very open mind. Like what should I do? um, what do you think would help? Because this is where I see myself. What do you think? Make it as engaging as possible, and not so much about emotions, etc. Make it as logical as possible. It's very easy to go down the emotional route, and it's not necessarily going to help you in this particular conversation. And it's more than numbers, right? What made them decide those numbers? So it's a deeper conversation. Take advantage of that. Sorry, there's a mosquito. Just shoo. Whoop, whoop. I'm with my buddies here. Okay. Anyway, hey Parul, how do you decide what course to upskill? Okay, Parul, look at it this way. Where do you want to go? And what kind of positions are you attracted to? And see where you fit in those positions, and look at that gap analysis. Do that for yourself. If you can't do it for yourself because you don't feel objective enough, hire a coach to help you out. And you'll be able to see this is where I'm lacking. And I also see this is where the market is headed. And this is where I think it'll make a big difference in my personal professional. And so go work backwards, and you like those positions, you like what other people are doing, you've had conversations, you've had coffee chats, etc. You're like, okay, for example, I see myself as a business analyst. Okay. A business analyst typically has really good spreadsheet and PowerPoint skills. I'm oversimplifying here, but you're like, okay, what do I need to do to get excellent spreadsheet and PowerPoint skills? You can volunteer your time, you can do a course, nothing like doing the course and applying it in real time, because you get a little bit of that theoretical knowledge, but you also, engage that with practical knowledge as well. So I hope that helps you out. Courses on managing situations. Again, go backwards on. I can't necessarily, answer based on hypothetical situations, but it, should be something that is useful to you, and not something that only sounds good on paper. I like the best of both worlds. How are you guys doing? How's the evening, afternoon been? If you're in the US or in Canada, it's probably morning, or in South America. Hey, LinkedIn user, my question may take some time. Why don't training leaders get accepted for HR roles? Yes, it is going to take time. It's going to get into a theoretical thing, unfair treatment. I don't think it's true everywhere. I think training leaders have a lot of things to offer. It comes down to the organizational culture. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but they are typically some cultures that reward that training mentality, that transferable skills, etc. And there are other cultures that are more about titles and functions and departments. So it's not necessary that they don't get respect because of that, or they get unfair treatment because of that. Because we have anecdotal experience, it's not necessarily true across the board. So there we go. Hey, Shannon, I'm in pharma as a nurse. Do you think being in one position for 10 years can be negative or hurt you? I think, Shannon, it's a really good question. A lot of people think like that. See, you have breadth of knowledge and you have depth of knowledge. So people who tend to hop around a lot tend to have a little bit more breadth. And I'm oversimplifying here, so please do not pounce on me or attack with me. We're doing the quickie version today. And people who stay tend to have more depth, and they also have depth of experience, and they also have depth of networks, external as well as internal networks. So Shannon, what you want to do is you want to talk about how being in one position for 10 years has actually been beneficial to you and to the organization. Anytime when people come to me, like as a coaching client, when someone comes to me and says, this has been a problem, how do I fix it? I actually want to flip it on its head completely. I want to flip my clients on their head sometimes completely upside down and showcase the thing that you think is holding you back. How could that be a strength of yours instead of being a kryptonite, right? So showcase how that actually was helpful. If you think, like, what did Henry Ford say? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I know this is an oversimplification, but you want to showcase what are the things you did in those 10 years. And that is something that will take a longer conversation, skills you developed, and maybe you grew internally as well. And you got more responsibilities, you maybe moved around laterally, you were given projects. So as long as it's been interesting and colorful, you want to change that narrative completely. I'm going to take a last question right now. What do you do when someone says, what are your strengths or weaknesses? Okay, Rajshri, you need to have a very clear idea about yourself and about what you're good at. And strengths, you want to be reasonable, you want to be humble, and at the same time, not too humble. This is not the time to be too humble. And at the same time, when it comes to weaknesses, check out my YouTube channel. I have 2 templates on how you can answer what are your weaknesses without getting into the classic sort of, narrative that people say, I'm a perfectionist, I can't delegate, I'm too hard on myself. Blah. Okay? No, it's time to change that. So, hey, G, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Amazing. Good morning. All right. So, okay, one last one, and I'm gonna see. Hey, Vishal, this is a longer question. I'm gonna have to answer this a little bit later, if I have the time. Unfortunately, I do have to run, and I'm actually getting bitten by mosquitoes, so it's lovely. I moved to another department. I interviewed for level 3, but they offered me level 1. They're not willing to pay me market price. What do you want to do? You have a choice. I'm going to simplify this, but you have a choice. You want to stay or you want to go. They think you're level 1 worthy. You think you're level 3 worthy. So go where I'm just going to say, go where you're respected, not where you're tolerated. Always. Right? Yeah, exactly. And you know yourself really well. Yeah, read my article on the bad boss thing again. Vishal, this will definitely help you. Just check out that article. I'm going to put it in the comment section. And if I don't get time to put it in the comment section, just go to my LinkedIn profile, and under profile, check out activity, and under activity, check out articles. It's an article from 2020, but I know it's a few steps. So if I get time, I'll make sure that I put it in the comments. How open are companies to having someone on board with a 360 change in career? Depends, right? Depends. Is it company, geography, industry? How much, right? How much? Check out a podcast I did, Zalak. Check out a podcast I did on career change. I did it about a year ago. Check out, go to Sonal Behel, How I Got Hired. You'll find it, and you'll find a very interesting podcast because I talk about career change a lot more in detail. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a lovely Friday and a lovely weekend. I'm going to go and join the family festivities. And if you have other questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm going to probably answer them sometime later on Saturday when I have a little bit of breathing space. Till then, you're amazing. Take care.